I did see there's a Tennessee farm bill, and there's a lot of stuff you want to talk about too, and we'll get into some of it for sure. But this is what I was talking about right here. This bill, it's Farm Bill 809. The bill is sponsored by Representative Rusty Grills, would limit lawsuits if a user gets sick from a pesticide. Under the proposed legislation, as long as a product's label was approved by the Environmental Protection Agency, a person wouldn't be allowed to sue over the labeling. So actually, Sean Ryan, the podcaster, and John Rich, the musician, they shared this online and on the day that it was going up for vote, I believe. Yeah, right here. Tennessee state politicians side with foreign pesticide companies over people dying of cancer. Ryan posted on X alongside a video speaking out against the bill. As did musician John Rich. After the pushback, Representative Grills took the bill off notice, which at least delayed the vote. It's unclear why that decision was made or whether Grills has plans to bring the bill back to this legislative session. And bring up just so we know who's doing this, bring up a picture of Mr. Grills. Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, look, if you're a farmer and you get sick from using a pesticide that you didn't know would make you sick, that you wouldn't have recourse against a pesticide company that did know that they caused illness, because these companies knew that these caused illnesses.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, evidence from lawsuits, internal documents, and independent reports indicates that Monsanto had information suggesting potential risk to human health from some of its pesticides, yet worked for years to downplay or obscure those risks in public and regulatory arenas. I mean, that's just wild.
The reason they're doing this is because of my lawsuits against Monsanto.
Right, I remember you had that huge settlement against them a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 2019, we finally settled it, but I did 3 of the trials in San Francisco. And the first one we won, I think, $289 million for, people who'd gotten non-Hodgkin's lymphoma from using Roundup. And then the second one, we won $89 million. The third one, we asked for $1 billion from the jury. It was a couple that had both got it simultaneously. They were home gardeners. And their dog also got it at the same time. They had a Labrador retriever, and the dog died. Both the couples were sick. We asked the jury for $1 billion, and they gave us $2.2 billion. And they did that because we were able to show them documents that showed Monsanto knew of the danger and then worked with corrupt officials, a guy called Jess Rowland inside of EPA, who was the head of the pesticide division, and that they had deliberately concealed the science, fixed the science. And now the big study that they used to prove safety has now been retracted.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw an article about that. Like they'd found emails that they were like, that it was kind of ghostwritten or something from the past.
Yeah, it was ghostwritten. And also the head of the pesticide division, they asked him, Monsanto asked him secretly, and now we have these emails, to kill a study by another agency called ATSDR. And he said, I can't kill it. That's not my agency. I can kill them in EPA, but not outside. And they said, you got to do it. We can't have this study go forward. And he said, okay, I'm going to do it. But if I succeed, you got to give me a gold medal. And we had all of that. And we were able to show it to the jury, and they were angry, and that's why they gave us that huge judgment.
A gold medal in what, just anything?
Gold medal for, killing a study that showed that it caused cancer. It showed that it grew tumors.
That's insane. That it's at a contest level now. That things like that are so like prolific that now it's like there's awards for it. It seems baffling. There's been a ton of lawsuits about this, right? Like about pesticides causing diseases and sickness in people, right? Or about this glyphosate, I think it's called.
Yeah, glyphosate.
There's been a ton of lawsuits, but they still don't have to take this product off of the shelf. So that's the craziest thing to me. Is that right?
Well, it's a problem because you have all the row croppers are dependent on it right now, and there's other technology that is emerging right now. That actually, I looked at one yesterday. It's a tractor attachment that uses lasers to kill weeds. And that, if they can make that affordable, particularly for smaller farmers, that will be the answer, because you'll be able to, they can kill bugs and they can kill weeds. You program this thing and it zaps the weeds with a laser. It makes all the cells explode and it destroys them. And so that, there's a future that we can now see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
But right now, if you banned glyphosate outright, it would put out of business 80% of our farmers.
Got it. Wow. So we're kind of dependent upon something that we know makes us sick.
Yeah, we are. And, we're doing a lot of work in the HHS to look for other alternatives and to find find an off-ramp, because the farmers don't want to be using chemicals anyway. They're very expensive. They know, they have some of the highest cancer rates of any profession. And farmers care about their land. They want to leave it for their kids. It also destroys the microbiome in the soil, and that causes erosion. And so it's not a good long-term solution. The issue is, how do you transition off of it without putting farmers out of business?
Right.
Here's that laser.
Oh, wow. That's unbelievable. Laser weeding robot kills 100,000 weeds per hour.
Yeah, and it also kills insects. You can program it to kill, certain insects. And, that machine probably costs $1 million. So,
but if you could have a couple of those running at night through your farm, that'd be sick.
well, yeah, it's a lot better than using chemical pesticides. So this is going to be, the future, but
we're not there yet.
we're not there yet.
Wow. It's just wild that we get stuck into something that makes us sick and we don't have it's like, I don't know. It just feels like such a conundrum. It must be like that for you guys a lot, where you're like, this is just kind of where we are,
The agricultural community has been very, very supportive of the MAHA agenda, and they're helping us transition away from ultra-processed foods, which is really the biggest issue. That's what's causing all these chronic diseases in kids. And farmers are going out of business. Farmers usually lose money 7 out of 10 years. Even when they're making money, they're making, a lot of them are just making, for their work hours, minimum wage. And we're having a hard time finding young people who will go into farming. So that is a crisis that we need to keep into consideration. And you have people at USDA finally who are really intent on solving this problem, but nobody wants any farmers going out of business.
Got it.